Hi everyone, I'm the Gnome, and I've just been to see Star Trek Into Darkness. So I'm going to give you my kind of opening thoughts as a kind of knee-jerk reaction, and then kind of probably in a week, since I've kind of, once I absorb a little bit more kind of round of it, I'll give you kind of a more kind of filled out. Because who doesn't love a knee-jerk reaction? First of all, spoilers. Spoilers. I'm going to spoil what happens in this film in this and any kind of subsequent Star Trek Into Darkness videos. Huge spoilers. Continue watching at your own risk. So if everyone's aware of that, because I know films get released all over the shop. Big spoilers. So, things I like. Action is very well done. The FX are pretty mint. At no point does it look any kind of green screen. The kind of inter-crew and inter-actor banter is as good as it was in the first Star Trek film. So all of that on a kind of technical level, really, really good. J.J. Abrams is a very competent director, and the Star Wars franchise are in safe hands. They will be competently made films. Graphically, they'll be fine. Kind of, you can pick and get the most out of some pretty weak actors. Chris Pine, and he does a really good job with that technical side of it. Now, kind of going to things I don't like. Well, the first thing, the big spoiler, watch out, spoilers, is that John Harrison is who we all expected to be Khan. So, the film in the reboot is basically a remake. So, the remake of Star Trek II Wrath of Khan. Benedict Cumberbatch is awesome in both this and everything else he does, to be honest. So I'm alright with him playing Khan. Plays him in a kind of really kind of reptilian, kind of vicious way, which I very much like. He has both the mind presence and the physical presence to kind of carry off that role, and it is quite an iconic role. No, he doesn't get his kind of shirt off till his belly button like the original actor, but he does a really, really good job. What I don't like is some of the kind of, well, okay, let's say one of the things. In this iteration, Khan is a 300-year-old super soldier who's been genetically enhanced with a super warrior brain and regenerative blood. Keep that in mind for later. That may come in helpful. Who was then kind of found and made to build weapons. Okay, he's 300 years old. There's people I speak to who are in their 30s who can't use a computer. Could you imagine giving a computer or a tablet to somebody 300 years ago? You'd be burned at the stake. Would a 300-year-old, no matter how comfortable he was or was with the technology of the time, or even the advanced technology of the time, would he understand anything we do now? Well, no, that's just ludicrous. That may have been an issue kind of with the original iteration as well as this one, but it really just kind of jarred. They should have just made him a genetically engineered super soldier. A bit like Captain America. But that was the kind of first, like, whoa, he's going to have no idea what he's doing with anything. He'd be getting a spanner and just hitting things. I make weapons. Even if you brought Leonardo da Vinci, the greatest mind that we've seen so far, now he'd be baffled. He'd have no idea what was going on. So that was kind of my first issue. Second issue, not really much ship-on-ship contact. It's Star Trek. I'd quite like to see ships shooting each other and stuff. Which, outside really of the opening scene in the first one, we didn't really get a huge amount in the first Star Trek either. Just let's see some ship-on-ship contact. I know that may be kind of difficult to do thematically, as you've got kind of so many characters on the Enterprise. Kind of how do you kind of focus in on the drama when it's that? So maybe you can understand. The other bit I don't like is they've kind of role reversed and copied Wrath of Khan. You've got your chance to do something new. You've got a new character. You've got the same character but with no limitations. What do you do? Oh, we'll just remake Wrath of Khan, but instead of Spock dying, spoilers, Kirk will die instead. And then Kirk will put his hand to the screen, and then Spock will do his V, and then Spock will go Khan, and then go mental, rather than Kirk, which makes no bloody sense whatsoever. Kirk is the passionate, wild one. He's the one he should be doing that. Is it neat that they've kind of role reversed, that Spock was the kind of creative one and then Kirk's the one who gave his life away for the ship? Maybe if it was original, but the fact it just seemed a bit of a wanky nod back too far, to be honest. This is going to make it seem as I hated the film. I really like the film, maybe 2/3 in. Then when we got the kind of final reveal of the big death ship, I don't get why the big death ship didn't just blow the Enterprise up straight away. You've got big photon torpedoes and lasers and shit. Or maybe just, as is suggested by Khan, I'll just shoot the life support out. Why didn't they just do that? And then everyone on the ship dies. Yes, his daughter's on there, but he doesn't really care about her. I do like that the Admiral bad guy is played by Robocop. Peter Weller, upon leaving the band The Jam, has not been doing enough work film-wise. Overall, kind of once I get kind of a more review, kind of more of an overall sense of it, I'll do some kind of read up. I'll give you kind of more thoughts. I just want to give you my kind of instant knee-jerk thoughts on it. Worst thing I want to say, yeah, but I enjoyed Iron Man 3 more, mainly down to kind of Robert Downey Jr. But at least the plot on Iron Man 3 had a few kind of interesting twists and turns. This was pretty basic, although it didn't fall into Wrath of Khan's trick of really, really obvious or really bad kind of final space conflict. So we imagine this is the Enterprise, so we'll do that, that's the Enterprise, and this is Khan's ship. So Khan's ship is following the Enterprise, but they're in a nebula, ship on ship, so they kind of don't have scanners. What Kirk realises that Khan doesn't, because he's 300 years old, in fact, don't forget that, is that space isn't 2D. So the Enterprise just goes boop, the Khan ship goes under, and then the Enterprise goes boop, and then shoots it in the arse. Like, you couldn't make it up, to be honest. Yes, you're 300 years old, but you're supposed to have a brilliant technical mind. You don't understand that in space you can do any kind of movement you want. It's not Green Hill Zone in Sonic. It's not just left and right. So they didn't do that, which is good. They did a really kind of blatant switcheroo, which was really blatant from the audience and really should have understood, or Khan should have picked that up. The final fight scene just seemed a bit redundant. I would have much preferred kind of Kirk to do that rather than Spock. We had a little cameo in from Leonard Nimoy, who needs to stop doing that. We need to kind of separate ourselves. And that's probably my biggest frustration, is that it was a chance to separate yourself, go your own way, and break free of the previous movies. But they didn't. Does that mean we're going to get Star Trek 4? Let's go save some fucking whales? Let's hope so. Wow. Undiscovered Country, that's a mid-Star Trek film. Let's see that again. Why not? They're building up to, hopefully, the Klingons. They kind of were introduced briefly, then all died. But Kronos still exists, so maybe the third one we'll actually see some kind of ship-on-ship contact. Or maybe we'll get a rehash of some of the Next Generation plots. Fuck it, why not? It annoys me that in this world that we've got, yes, fair enough, I can understand a remake. A remake was necessary because the old films, plus the NG, were campy and rubbish. Do we need to reuse the plots? We reuse the character. Great, happy with. Absolutely delighted that Khan was brought back because he's an interesting character, played by an interesting actor. Do we then need to copy the final few scenes of Wrath of Khan? I would say no, and that's the bit that kind of annoys me most of all. So this is my kind of super knee-jerk review of Star Trek Into Darkness. I will be back with some kind of more hopefully technical and important blatherings at a later point. So cheers for watching, everyone. Spoilers ended. So good night.